Hello everyone, welcome back to Alvo Movie Recaps. We're here to bring you the most exciting movie stories of all time. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because one lucky subscriber could win a free scooter. Alright, no more waiting around, let's jump right into today's recaps. After a big brawl in the wilds of America, only the knife salesman survived. He could have safely left, but being greedy, he secretly opened the robber's trunk and took a bundle of cash for himself. Little did he know, his nightmare was just beginning. Just hours ago, the knife salesman's car ran out of gas, leading him to this remote gas station. But the attendant informed him they were out of fuel too, waiting for a fuel truck to arrive, with the next gas station 100 kilometers away. The adjacent restaurant was about to open, and he was advised to wait there. At that moment, a police car pulled up beside him. Charlie was dropping off his wife Charlotte for work. Then he opened the restaurant door. Inside, the knife salesman turned on the radio, which reported a bank robbery of $700,000. Witnesses claimed the robbers, driving a green car, fled around 6 a.m. Meanwhile, the fuel truck had overturned due to an accident, still leaking fuel with the engine running, difficult to notice due to the downhill slope. The knife salesman entered the restaurant, ordered a coffee, and mentioned that tomorrow was his daughter's birthday. He wanted to get back early today, but it would still be a 4-hour drive. Charlotte expressed her hope for the fuel truck to arrive soon. Shortly after, another car needing gas arrived, only to find out the station was out, waiting for the fuel truck. They too were advised to wait at the adjacent restaurant, unaware that the truck would never come. Soon, the two newcomers entered the restaurant, unknowingly becoming everyone's nightmare. The knife salesman was playing a crossword puzzle in the newspaper when he noticed their car resembled the one described in the bank robbery report. Charlotte thought it made sense and prepared to call her husband, who was a police officer. However, the robbers had already noticed and aimed a gun at her from behind. She had to hang up the phone. One robber grabbed her neck, and the other warned the man not to interfere. Then, they cut the phone line with a small knife. The man explained he was just a salesman, selling kitchen utensils and knives. The robbers insisted they both behave, threatening to shoot them in the face if they didn't comply. By the way, if you enjoy our movie recaps, we're currently hosting a giveaway for our audience. We're excited to announce that a brand new scooter awaits one lucky subscriber. Don't miss out. Subscribe and follow us to stay tuned for more updates. Moments later, an elderly couple entered. At that moment, one of Charlie's subordinates, Gavin, arrived to buy coffee. Charlotte mentioned that the elderly couple was staying at the adjacent motel and didn't have a car. To verify if she was lying, one of the robbers, Wang Mao, decided to check the motel. Soon, Gavin arrived at the restaurant, asking Charlotte for a few cups of coffee. He intentionally put extra sugar in one of the cups, trying to send a signal. He also wrote her husband's name on the cup, knowing Charlie never took sugar in his coffee. After coming out of the bathroom, the other robber accidentally spotted the police car, startling him into drawing his gun. But as he quietly approached outside the restaurant to turn back, he bumped into Gavin just as he exited the restaurant, spilling all the coffee. After buying new coffee, Gavin left. The robber found out that the motel was empty, and there were no cars at the gas station either. At that moment, the gas station attendant informed everyone that he had just received a call saying the truck had left late in the morning, but should be arriving soon. If it didn't arrive within an hour, he would call to check on it. Soon, another car needing gas arrived. The man noticed a green car in front with its rear damaged, suspecting it belonged to the robbers. Being short on cash, he planned to discreetly pry open their trunk. The knife salesman, sitting by the window, heard the noise but didn't react. Then, the gas station attendant walked out, instructing the man and his girlfriend to wait at the restaurant for the truck. They had no choice but to enter the restaurant. While the knife salesman was writing a note, a pickup truck arrived, and a big cowboy hat-wearing guy walked in. The robber approached him, intending to take his car, but noticed the gun at his waist, so he engaged him in conversation instead. The other guy mentioned that he had filled up his tank yesterday, and was just here for a meal. When Charlotte came over to serve the food, the robber took her hostage. The cowboy offered to give them the keys and release Charlotte, but the old man suddenly pulled out a gun for self-defense. In response, the cowboy hat guy also drew his gun. Just as Charlotte was about to reach for a knife in her pocket, the man pulled out his gun, aiming it at the cowboy hat guy. He explained that he knew the robbers had robbed a bank, so he was willing to help them. As tensions escalated, the robber was ultimately shot in the neck, still alive but losing consciousness. The other robber and the knife salesman emerged unharmed, while the woman with orange hair hid. Unfortunately, everyone else was killed. Yellow Hair then pressured the orange-haired woman to come out, but just then, the gas station attendant, hearing the gunshots, rushed in and was shot too. Seeing her boyfriend dead, the orange-haired woman picked up a gun. While the knife salesman urged her to call the police, she refused and instead wanted to take the money from the robbers. She pointed the gun at him, demanding his assurance that he wouldn't report the incident to the police. Under the pressure of life and death, the knife salesman swore not to disclose any information, but the female robber did not believe him and accidentally fired a shot that missed. The salesman immediately subdued her, obtained the old man's handgun, and aimed it at the robber. Watching the robber on the verge of death, he ultimately lowered the gun and decided to leave the restaurant. After calming down for a moment, he intended to call the police, but hesitated at the last moment. The temptation of money made him abandon the idea of calling the police. Instead, he found the robber's keys, opened the trunk, and discovered it was filled with cash, much to his surprise. He quickly placed the cash into his own car, and then used a plastic pipe to siphon gasoline from the pickup truck into his own vehicle. All of this was done in a hurry. The police tried calling the restaurant, but it kept ringing busy. Charlie suggested calling the gas station, but after ringing for a while, no one answered. Concerned, Charlie decided to go check things out with Javin. The knife salesman returned the robber's keys, and then disposed of his own newspaper in the trash bin. Suddenly, he heard a car horn and went out the back door of the restaurant to investigate. Another customer had arrived to refuel, but quickly left in a huff after entering the restaurant. He hurriedly told his wife they needed to find a phone to call the police. The knife salesman, overhearing this, approached them with $10,000, asking them not to reveal his involvement. Seeing the gun in his hand, the couple reluctantly agreed. When he opened the trunk to get the money, the woman mistook him for a bank robber. And the knife salesman ultimately knocked the man unconscious. As they struggled, the sound of a baby crying came from their car. Despite this, the knife salesman callously got into his own car and drove away, ignoring the plight of the child. Outside the restaurant, Charlie sensed something was wrong and hurried over. Upon seeing his wife's body, he was overcome with grief. He then noticed spilled gasoline on the ground and found the baby inside the car. After checking the robber's vehicle, he realized the money was gone, but the robber was still there. Charlie asked Javin to take care of the child and went after the culprit. Not far along, the salesman's car ran out of gas. It turned out that during the struggle, his gun accidentally hit the fuel tank. Planning to take the money and leave, he stumbled upon a fuel truck downhill, finding the driver dead. Charlie caught up quickly, pulling out his gun and approaching the yellow car, only to find it empty. Opening the trunk, he found the salesman's knife box and began searching the area. When he spotted the knife salesman, he chased him down the hill. Demanding the knife salesman to come out, Charlie ordered him to explain what happened at the restaurant. However, Charlie didn't believe his innocence. As Charlie questioned him, the knife salesman quietly ignited the gas on the ground. Trying to flee, the knife salesman collapsed after a few steps. Greed had led to his demise.